Okay. Just getting everything set up right now for anybody who happens to be joining at this precise moment. How are we doing, everybody? Everybody doing okay? Hopefully everybody's doing okay. I'm hoping that everybody's doing okay today. There we go. Sweet, sweet. Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Everybody doing all right? Welcome. Thursday, stream day, as we call it. Hello, hello, hello. You like dinosaurs? I like dinosaurs too. Dinosaurs are pretty cool. They're pretty cool critters, I think. So I've been told. Seems like people are doing good. That's good. It's good to hear. I mean, I'm just finishing getting a few things all set up, making sure everything's running properly. Is this on Twitch? This is not on Twitch. I do not have a Twitch account. I might set one up sometime in the near future because YouTube Studio is pretty finicky overall, but hasn't happened quite yet. But yeah, look out for that in the future. We'll probably do that. I needed a palate cleanser after the past 24 hours. I agree. I agree with that. What is my job? My job is glass polisher, but that's a pretty temporary thing right now because there's a lot of things changing right now. What are we doing today? We're talking dinosaurs as per usual. I'd like to hear you talk about ancient giant birds, Argentavis and Baird's eagle, for example. They're very cool dinosaurs in general. Like there's Pelagornis is really cool. Pelagornis is one of the longest birds that we know of, which is one that I really do like. I'm gonna pull up a picture of that one, just cause. But it's a type of seabird that had like teeth-like structures. It didn't quite have teeth, but it had teeth-like structures. It's very interesting. Let me get caught up real quick. You got really nice hair. Why, thank you. I try. My hair is pretty annoying. What's my favorite dinosaur figure company so far? I've been really liking Halongood. I think Halongood does a very good job with their dinosaur figures. Like I don't really have any complaints with Halongood whatsoever. I just think that they do a really good job. How did you get the fossils and archaeology working? I use CurseForge, and it loads up pretty well for me. Hoping that people don't have issues with it. I find it cool how human ancestors were eaten by giant birds of prey at one point in time. It's like that would be the Haast eagle. It's pretty horrifying, really. I mean, even today, there's been some children who have like, I don't know if there's been any that have been successfully taken, but some golden eagles have tried to take like some children and whatnot. And the Haast eagle is huge, like significantly larger than that. So it's a pretty terrifying concept, if you ask me. My favorite dinosaur is definitely Mipe. Megaraptorans are my favorite group. That's fair. Megaraptorans are a really fascinating group. To have like some type of animal that's like has a reduced Biforce but has very powerful arms is always really interesting. You watched Primitive War. I hope it gets you think it was great. I hope it gets a second movie or a miniseries. Yeah, I agree with that. I had a lot of fun watching the film. I do hope that it does well enough to warrant a sequel with potentially a higher budget. We have golden eagles in the UK. That's scary. That is pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. Would theoretically a Carnotaurus be able to bite clean through an average man's chest? It's weird, but it's for the book again. Oh, I don't know if Carnotaurus quite had that bite force. Belosaurids have interesting bites in the way that they just bite and hold on, right? They don't tear or crush. Like, allosaurids, take for example, they'll tear, or carcharodontosaurids, and tyrannosaurids, they would crush mostly, but abelisaurids, they were designed to just like bite and hold on, kind of similar to some big cats. It might have been big enough to do that, but I don't know if it quite had the bite force. I'm not too sure what the bite force of Carnotaurus is estimated to be, but I don't know if that was something that would be possible. But for fiction, wouldn't be. It's not really that it's still a good route to take. What new species do you want in Jurassic World Evolution 3? Anything Paleozoic and Cenozoic. I want more things that are not strictly Mesozoic. I didn't get to watch Primitive War because it's not released in England where I live. I hope that it does come to England. Obviously, biology lives in a country that isn't showing it, and I really want more people to watch it. I think it was really good. Do you like Maurice? Yes, my dodo. It's an awesome little dude. What is the least popular dinosaur that is really interesting? There's a lot of them that I find very interesting. They're not too well known and not too mainstream. One of them would have to be Lurtosaurus. Lurtosaurus it's an iguanodontian dinosaur that had a proportionally long neck, huge arms, a small pelvis. It was kind of like a platypus in a few different ways, and the fact that it's like a combination of a lot of different creatures, kind of like how a platypus is. Not many people know about it, which I think is wild. It's a cool dinosaur, and I need more research done on it. Did any theropods have osteoderms other than Ceratosaurus? Per my knowledge, I don't know. I've never heard of any other than Ceratosaurus. And everybody I've talked to, like paleontologists and whatnot, every time I talk to them about osteoderms, they always use like the Ceratosaurus as an example of a theropod with osteoderms. I don't think we really know of any others that had them. Have I ever been bullied for liking dinosaurs / paleontology? Probably. I was bullied in elementary school, and I'm sure that was probably one of the reasons why I was. Mostly in middle school, though. But by middle school, I kind of kept it a secret. But anyway. Since Prehistoric Planet Ice Age is coming out, would you like a Prehistoric Planet show that takes place in the Permian? Absolutely. I want them to take advantage of the fact that it's called Prehistoric Planet. Already, I think that taking a look at the Pleistocene is a step in the correct direction, and I want them to do more with different time periods. I think that's a great way to do it. Have I seen the new behind the scenes for Surviving Earth showing the model of Nanosaurus? Yes, I have. I have indeed seen it. Very exciting overall. I'm really hyped for it. I'm really hyped for this documentary. Like, you have no idea. I definitely need more people to talk about it because I want it to do well. Okay. Have I heard of the newest dinosaur, Newtonosaurus? It's a large Triassic theropod. No, I have not heard of that, actually. I'll check it out, though. Newtonosaurus. Well, we have its dentary from 1899, so I don't know if it's too new. An extinct genus of possibly coelophysoid theropod dinosaur from the late Triassic. Known from an external mold in the front half of the lower jaw, originally named as a species of Zanclodon with an estimated total length of 5 to 7 meters, 16 to 23 feet. That's interesting. We've had the fossils for a while by the looks of it, but maybe it's like recently been identified as a coelophysoid. Thoughts on the Colossal Bioscience MOA project? I'm not too happy with Colossal overall. I don't like the way that they handle these things and the route that they take to try to publicize their work. Like, I understand it gets funding and everything, but it's just, I don't know. It like they don't do things properly. They don't have things published or peer reviewed, and so they don't take the proper like scientific method when actually applying their new research. They just like to come out with, "Hey, dire wolves are here. Haha, believe us." It's kind of frustrating. What species would you want to see in Prehistoric Kingdom? I need Ceratosaurus. I was just thinking of this the other day. I really want a giant ground sloth. Like, I really want like a either a Megalonyx or a Megatherium or anything like that. I think that those would be awesome. How do we know the layout of Ceratosaurus osteoderms? Um, if I remember correctly, Ceratosaurus was preserved on its side, and because it was preserved on its side, the osteoderms kind of like fell off, like it. They kind of like they fell off of the skin where they would have been situated in life, and it seems to be that they were like on the midline, just kind of like a row down. That's how we found out the layout of Stegosaurus's osteoderms. Do I hold any knowledge of Lokiceratops? I never knew it was a thing until Evolution 3 revealed it, and it looks so cool in the game. Yeah, and their model in Evolution 3 is fantastic. It's almost perfect. Lokiceratops looks like we're kind of fuzzy right now. Yeah, I could tell that we're out of focus. I don't know what the problem is with that, but Lokiceratops, it was a recent discovery. I think it was discovered last year, if I'm not mistaken. Um, hold on one second. I'm gonna try to fix this because I could see it in the thing. There we go. It's probably gonna be blurry for a minute, but yeah, no, it's a very good model. Lokiceratops was also it was a new ceratopsian that was found to be asymmetrical also, which is just another example of asymmetry present in ceratopsian dinosaurs. But that probably implies that it was pretty common overall for ceratopsians to be asymmetrical, at least on its frill. One half of its frill is different from the other half. Yeah, we should be fixed now. We should be fixed now. What's your favorite Permian creature? Mine is Inostransavia. I mostly lean towards Inostransavia as well. I think that Inostransavia is a very, very fascinating animal. Very terrifying too. Mostly terrifying because of primeval. But it's cool. It's cool. You knew about Lokiceratops longer than Dino Guy? What? I've known about Lokiceratops since it first was published. What are you talking about? Unless you worked on it. Ooh, in which case then you would. Then you would. But no, I read the paper when it first came out, like when it was first officially published, and I made a video about it way back then. Was Primitive War as loud for you as it was for me? I was legit like the most loud movie I've ever seen, louder than -1. Not for me, no. That could just be a theater thing. I know that a lot of theaters they have to balance the sound, like the speakers in a specific way to make sure everything kind of works out properly. What's my favorite ceratopsian? That would have to be Pachyrhinosaurus. Hmm. What's my favorite dinosaur out of Tarbosaurus, Torvosaurus, and Albertosaurus? That Torvosaurus out of those three. I really like megalosaurids, and Torvosaurus is my favorite megalosaurid. Hello, Argentinosaurus lad. How are we doing today? Could a Stegosaurus be able to do a backflip to attract mates? Absolutely. Not really. Of course not. Is Troodon valid, or is it just Latinavinatrix and Stenotchosaurus now? So recently there was a paper that was published that was talking about a possible neotype for Troodon. If that's accepted, then yes, Troodon is valid. But I think we're kind of still in flux right now. I think I'm behind. I think it's frozen. Okay. No, we're caught up. What is my favorite thyreophorian? Ooh, good question. Probably Stegosaurus. I like the classics. It's my state dinosaur. State fossil, really. Could it be possible to build another park on St. Hubert if you got the government permission? It's a good size and it's the right for the taking. I doubt that they're going to take that route again. Why did Miragaia look so funky? It was just the evolutionary pressures that caused it to be that way. If Miragaia even existed, but if not, then you know. But yeah, no, it just specifically was adapted for eating, like filling a niche that was a little bit more sauropod like, I suppose. Would I like to see a remake of The Lost World 1925? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Could Alamosaurus live in Canada? The only Alamosaurus fossils that have been found have only been down south, like around Texas and Mexico. So I don't think that we would find any that were that high up, you know. I believe we can all agree that dinosaurs are boring now is the dumbest plot point we've ever heard. I agree with that. I think that it just feels kind of like a forced plot point, and this is like their second time trying to bring that up. What is one dinosaur that you think deserves more recognition because you think it's overall amazing? I was just talking about it. Lurdosaurus. Like I think that Lurdosaurus would be really cool to see a little bit more in media. What is my favorite dubious dinosaur based on if the dinosaur actually looked like it and what and acted like what we theorized it could be. Mine would be Agathemus. Agathemus is a good one. I always liked Trachodon. It's Edmontosaurus now, but Trachodon because I really like the name Trachodon. Like it's a fun name. We need more Acrocanthosaurus recognition in mainstream media or just overall. Yeah, I could that I can agree with that. People still go to zoos. I don't think that anyone will get bored of a dinosaur. Exactly. I agree with that. It's a dinosaur. My favorite extinct shark. Helicoprion. Such a weirdo. I love it though. Is there anything I need to know about Irritator? I'm planning on putting it in a story of mine and I need to know a little bit about it. So Irritator might have had a pelican jaw, like a pelican pouch on its lower jaw. That was a recent discovery, and I say recent, but I think it was around 2022, where it was found that instead of opening up and down its jaw could really only open laterally, you know, to the sides, which implies that it would have had like some tissue in between its jaw, and then there would have been a joint towards the end of the jaw that would have opened up a pouch, similar to pelicans, which I think is pretty cool. No dinosaurs had venom as far as we know. Correct. I always thought the year profile picture was Proceratosaurus for some reason. Yeah, I think a lot of people do. It's either that or Dilophosaurus. And I think it's mainly, obviously, it's the angle because the Spinosaurus is looking over its shoulder and the sail kind of like lines up with it. And it doesn't help the fact that most people only see my profile at like they only see it being really small. So it's all of those things kind of blend together. It's fine though. It's all dinosaurs. I'm feeling good. Had a max exam tonight. Max exam though, so not feeling 100% like last time. Oh, that sounds like fun. What P&SO dinosaur do you recommend, or dinosaurs plural? That's a good question. I really like their Edmontosaurus. Like their Edmontosaurus is really cool. I like their Spinosaurus. I like their Suchomimus. I like their Miragaia. Their Miragaia is pretty cool. And I could probably recommend more, but oh yeah, their Yangchuanosaurus is also pretty cool. Do I have a favorite Cenozoic creature? Oh, I have a lot, but I'll probably just say Paraceratherium because they're just cool. They're really rad. I'm happy we were able to see a behind the scenes showcase for the Jurassic Park survival game. I was worried for the longest time that it was going to be canceled or something. Yeah, me too. I think that they kind of like they released it kind of or like they revealed it kind of early. Math. Oh, yeah, you said Max. Autocorrect is always a fun thing. It's always a really fun thing. How many pets do I have? 3. 2 cats, or sorry, 2 dogs and 1 cat. Stupid autocorrect thought that math was Max. Yeah. What is my least favorite dinosaur? Pelicans. Pelicans, pelicans, pelicans. The P&SO Dinosaurus is awesome. Oh, it looks so cool. I want it so bad. I haven't committed to buying it though, but I want it. What was a dinosaur you find weird? Oh, there's a lot of very strange dinosaurs that exist within the fossil record. Spinosaurus counts. I think it is a very strange dinosaur. It doesn't really have any good modern day analogs. Dinosaurus is also very strange as well. Trying to think. Yeah, I think that those are probably my best examples right there. Okay. What do you think of Herrerasaurus? Oh, it's a fun one to dive into because it's an early dinosaur, and so because of that, there's always like a lot of questions on its classification. Like there was even a point in time when it was considered to be like a basal sauropodomorph. There was a point in time when it was considered to be a theropod, a basal theropod. Um, Point in time when it was considered to not even be a dinosaur, and then of course, I think it's currently a basal saurischian, but I'm not too sure about that. I don't know if it's quite in theropod territory. I have the newer P&SO Spinosaurus and Alamosaurus. Those are great ones. I really want the Alamosaurus. I'll have to pull that trigger sometime. What dinosaur do you think could be the best as a police dog? That's a good question. Uh, you would want one that's relatively small that could potentially be trained, but obviously there's nothing that states that any dinosaur would be able to be trained. But hypothetically speaking, I'd say something closer to Velociraptor or something. You wouldn't want something too big. Geese or swans? What's the worst dinosaurs? I don't know about worse, but geese have hissed at me a lot. I've never had a swan hiss at me, at least not yet. But I have whenever I'm running around the park. There's a lot of Canadian geese, and they'll hiss at me quite a bit. It's quite terrifying. I think we're frozen. No, we're not. Here we go. Gooby, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Or Goopy, sorry. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Um, what was Lokiceratops was discovered in perhaps wait, I'm sorry, I don't know how to read. What was Lokiceratops or where was Lokiceratops? I think it was where was Lokiceratops discovered? Well, Lokiceratops, like I was saying earlier, Lokiceratops is a very its whole skull structure. It lived in the late Cretaceous. I think. I don't know. I don't think it was Maastrichtian. From my knowledge, I don't think it was Maastrichtian. I think it might have been Campanian, which is a little bit earlier than dinosaurs like T Rex, of course, and all that. Well, quite a bit earlier. Um, and it was discovered in Montana, which is also just really cool. Um, I don't know. It's a cool ceratopsian overall. I like it. What dinosaur would be the best for traveling around? Like, oh, we froze. Oh, we did. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but we did freeze. Okay. So it looks like okay, the stream's back for me anyway, and it's probably back for you guys as well. But if I'm judging correctly from my little face in there, I think there's gonna be like a huge period of time where I'm just sitting there like this. I'm sure that you guys will let me know. So I think that we're gonna be way behind, which is really, really frustrating. I'm telling you, I think that I'm probably gonna stop using YouTube sometime in the near future because YouTube is just frustrating. I've always had like a lot of issues. We might switch to Twitch at some point. Don't quite know yet, but um what is my favorite dinosaur described this year? So, you could see the full list of dinosaurs described this year by looking at the Wikipedia for Archosaur. Oh yeah. Um, so my favorite so far would have to be Spicomelus off Jurassic Park on accident. Nope, I do not think that. I think that there's a lot of directions you can take because Jurassic World nowadays, the movies and the shows, well, the shows do better, but the movies they don't they're doing their own thing by this point. Uh they're doing their own thing by this point. So you can take like a lot of inspiration from like say uh you know scientific accuracy and apply that to your designs and you won't have to rip off Jurassic World. Where did I get my Tylosaurus? Wow. Where did I get my Spinosaurus skull? My wife actually got that for me. She got it off of an Etsy shop. Cypher, thank you for the donation. And why are mammals small compared to diapsids? That's probably in reference to the fact that we had like huge dinosaurs. Like dinosaurs are the largest land animals to ever exist. Especially with sauropods. Whereas mammals never really quite got to that size. The largest mammals you get are Paraceratherium and Paleoloxodon and things like that. And there's a lot of reasons why reptiles were a little bit more better suited for that. They had a more efficient way of breathing. They had like this huge lung system with a bunch of like air sacs, like a lot of dinosaurs had those. In a lot of ways, they were like as they were breathing in, they were still retaining oxygen as they breathed out. So there was always oxygen within their body, and that allowed some of the larger dinosaurs like sauropods to get to be bigger. Also, sauropods had like really long necks, and egg laying was a huge one. A lot of sauropods in particular, they lay a ton of eggs, and they don't have to worry about taking care of their eggs. It's like the sea turtle method, and then you have to compare that to like a mammal, where like a mammal, they get to be the longest, like one of the longest gestation periods is of course 2 years for like African elephants today, and that is very costly for the mother. And at the end of it, you more times than not, you'll only get like one baby from that, which is again that's very costly for the mother, and it's very like dangerous for the baby, and so it's a little bit more difficult for your lineage to continue on. That's why today the largest mammal would probably have to be the African elephant. So there's a lot of different reasons that contribute to dinosaurs getting to be such huge sizes. Really, the only thing that comes close, or not even comes close, but surpasses that is the blue whale, and that's because the blue whale is in the water. Blue whale is the largest animal to ever exist, but it has the help of buoyancy. It does not have to worry about gravity. The gravity is also another thing, of course, but all of those things together, all that all helps out. Datch, hello, how are we doing today? I'm cutting off. Of course I am. Of course I'm cutting off. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I've had it with YouTube. I've had it with YouTube streaming, man. All good. That's good to hear, man. Do I think that it's hard to design a dinosaur design without ripping off Jurassic Park by accident? No, I don't think it is. Have I seen the documentary on Paleo Australia with Hugh Jackman? No, I have not. I've tried to, but I can't find where to watch it. Uh, it's fixed now. Yeah, it should be fixed now. I'm about tired of I'm about tired of YouTube streaming, if I'm being honest. Thoughts on 65 with its dinosaur designs? They're fine. They're fine designs that, well, I don't like a lot of them, but yeah. Have I heard of Michele Membe? Yes, I have. It's certainly an interesting thing overall. Have I read Darwin's Origin of Species? I have not. No, I have not. What's your opinion on Mattel made Nanotyrannus? It's a, I'm not really in the camp of Nanotyrannus being a valid genus, but even at that, even if you're looking at it through that lens, it's not a great figure. I mean, it certainly doesn't match up to the skull structure or anything like that. Do I think the Dakota Raptor is valid? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what I think with Dakota Raptor. I just kind of like stay quiet until things release about that. That's why I don't really weigh in too much about topics like that, because I know that eventually we're going to get some papers released and then we'll get our answer. So I don't know. What's my favorite animal from the Cambrian period? That would have to be Anomalocaris. They do their best. 65's designs are basically just reshaped crocs, and they're just so boring. They're just like gray blobs. It's hard to differentiate one from the other. The giant quadrupedal dinosaur, it looks very similar to the tyrannosaurs that we saw. It doesn't really have much of its own identity, despite the fact that it's quadrupedal. It's just, I don't know. I don't like the designs. I don't know if you answered this because the audio cut off, but opinion on Joncaria. I don't know if I've ever heard of that fella. Let me look into it, and then I'll tell you my opinion on it. Oops, I spelled it wrong. That's fun. Oh, what is this fella? It's a dinocephalian. Large omnivorous animal. I'm going to look into this, and then I wouldn't be don't be surprised in a few days if I make a video about it, because already I love the way that it looks. I love animals like this, so I'm gonna do some research on it. I'm gonna do a video. I love Dakota Raptor, so I hope it's valid. Yeah, me too. Me too. I hope it's valid too. Could Stegosaurus walk bipedally? When they were babies, maybe. Museum I work at, we have like some statues of like baby Stegosauruses that are bipedal. The designs of the dinosaurs in 65 reminds me a lot of the ones from the 2008 video game Turok. They kind of do. They kind of do. Although I think that I feel like Turok had a little bit more life in its designs. Like it had a little bit more of an intention behind it. Like the giant quadrupedal fella, it looked like it had a lot of elements taken from the Indominus Rex. It was just skewed in a way. Was there proof of symbiosis in dinosaurs? I don't know of any actual evidence supporting that symbiosis, but I'm sure it probably happened from time to time. Primitive Warhead great designs. Yeah, I agree. There's some designs I wasn't a big fan of. I think that they could have done better things to differentiate themselves from different franchises. But yeah, all around, I think that 65 did really good. Or sorry, Primitive War did really good. People say Asteminosuchus is the hippo of the Permian. Joncaria probably deserves it more, just like Ankylosaurus and the nickname the Tyrannosaurus of the Permian. Oh, yeah. That's fair from what I'm seeing here. Such an interesting skull, though. I love its skull. Like, that is so cool. And it's big, too. It's a big fella. I think we're frozen. No, we're not. Okay, cool. Do I ever wish the dinos were real? Well, dinosaurs were real, and there are dinosaurs still alive today, which is always really cool. Which is always a really cool thing to note. This audio cut is getting annoying. For a lot of people, the audio is working. This happens every time. That's like sometimes some people it doesn't work properly and they have to leave the stream and come back. I apologize, but YouTube is not nice to me when it comes to streaming. I'm probably just going to be making a shift off of YouTube entirely because every time I just have issues. Would Utah Raptor make a good slasher villain like how they were in Primitive War? Sure. Yeah, I think that would be a interesting addition. What's my favorite dinosaur documentary? Prehistoric Park or Planet. Sorry. Well, Prehistoric Park is up there, but Prehistoric Planet is a very good one. It's like obviously it's one of the most up to date. Audio works for me. That's good. I'm glad at the very least it seems like it's working for at least some folks. I don't know. I don't. I always have issues with YouTube, and I apologize everybody for stuff like that. It's quite frustrating. Hey, Pokesaurus, how we doing, man? Have you seen the T-Rex from the old Doctor Who episode Invasion of the Dinosaurs? I've seen images of it. Yeah, I believe anyway. I know I've looked at dinosaur designs from Doctor Who. I just haven't talked about them too long. Up to date is overrated. Monsters Resurrected all the way. How dare you? If you got to name a dinosaur, what would you want to name, and what would you actually name it? I'd like to name it Chinese Megaraptorid. I don't know, and that's a good name too. Zoo Yishianzensis, I believe. I'm so sorry if I butchered that, but yeah, that's a good name. And I don't know. I don't know. Like I've been asked that before, and I have put some thought into it, but I feel like naming a dinosaur would it wouldn't if like I wouldn't know what to name something until after I've already after it's already been described or something like that. Because a lot of times dinosaurs and extinct animals are named off of specific traits that they have or something about their skeletal structure. Like take, for example, Duonicus is a therizzinosaurid that was found with 2 claws instead of 3. So it's named Duonicus, which translates to 2 claw. So I don't know what I would name one. I'd name a dinosaur Thanos. That's been taken. Is Brevipepirus the tallest dinosaur ever? I don't know, honestly. I'm not even too sure what the consensus of the tallest dinosaur is currently. I mostly just pay attention to weight estimates. What do you think the strongest dinosaur is? Argentinosaurus, because sauropod. Exactly. What do you think? Or sorry, what kind of dinosaur would you like to discover? I would just be happy to discover a dinosaur. That would make my life right there. Could be any kind of dinosaur. It could be a dromaeosaurid, could be a Spinosaurid, could be a ceratopsian, could be anything. Who would win in a fight? Eotyrannus versus Deinonychus. Oh, I don't know. Eotyrannus, I suppose. I made a video in Eotyrannus one, but I just want to know your opinion. I think the Eotyrannus weighed more than Deinonychus, and typically I go off of weight because there's a lot of variables to fights. Obviously, like there's not one side would win all of the time compared to the other. But yeah. What really upsets me that Thanos wasn't given to an Entelodon. They actually have the chin for. They do, don't they? Oh man, an Entelodont would be perfect for the name Thanos. You should make a community on YouTube so people can post their stuff without needing Discord. I've been thinking about doing that. I probably will. I probably will. I think we're frozen. Favorite McDonald's meal you would share to a Spinosaurus? 10-piece chicken nuggets. That's all I ever get. Well, sometimes I'll get the quarter pounder, but I don't go to a McDonald's a lot, so probably 10-piece chicken nuggets. Wouldn't be enough for that. I'm from Brazil. What's your favorite South American dinosaur? A lot of very cool things that come from South America, especially when you're looking at the Cenozoic, because there's a huge portion of time where South America was separated from like it wasn't connected with North America, and before the Great American Interchange. There's like a lot of cool creatures that showed up. I don't know which one I would choose though. Now that I said all that, I don't know which one I'd choose. I would probably just go with Smilodon Populator. It's a big cat. It's really cool. Oh, great. I'm frozen again. That's great. So it looks like I'm just gonna be having issues all day today. So when everything starts like catching up with itself, I don't know when I could start speaking again. We're probably just gonna have to end it. Yeah, there we go. I caught up to the frozen part on my stream. This is really annoying. We're probably just gonna have to end the stream though. Okay. Well, I mean, it looks like most everybody is kind of like caught up for the most part, I think. I'm probably just gonna have to end the stream right here, which is definitely not something I'm gonna want to do. But I think I'm going to have to just start streaming on Twitch or something like that because I've just been having so many issues with YouTube. It's really really diabolical. Um, so I'm gonna give enough time for everybody to hear this message, but I'm gonna have to end the stream right here because this is getting pretty ridiculous, and I'm probably gonna just in the near future probably plan on seeing a live on Twitch or something along those lines rather than YouTube because man, this is really frustrating. I do apologize, everybody. YouTube was certainly like a convenient way to go live, but we'll figure it out. Like